Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new Halacha for units for Thursday, 21st day of December, third day of Teves. Okay, the third day of Teves means that now Hanukkah is behind us, and we are going back to the laws that we were in the middle of a couple of weeks ago. You may not remember. We were in the middle of a topic which was all about shoes in Halacha. Yes, there are a whole bunch of shoe halachas, and here we go with them. You know that you may have heard from me before or others that you're not supposed to put two garments on at the same time. Like if you have a sweater and a jacket, you're not supposed to put them on at the same time. The rabbis view this as something that could cause shikha, forgetfulness, and it was just something that could be a little bit Kabbalistic or mystical, but we do not put on two pieces of clothing at the same time. So in our shoe unit, which we're sort of in now, the question becomes, can I put on shoes and the rubbers that are with them at the same time? And to that, the answer seems clear from the poskim that it's allowed because they're not viewed as two garments. Shoes are clothing and rubbers are things that protect clothing, but rubbers are not exactly considered clothing themselves. So if you wanted to put on your shoes and your overshoes at the same time, it seems like it would be okay. Another topic under shoes would be, we know that men are not supposed to wear ladies' clothing in halacha. God tells us this in the Torah. What about a man wearing the rain shoes of a lady? And poskim have been asked that, and they've said that that would be okay. And now to a topic that's really out there. You may or may not have ever heard of it, but the Sefer Hasidim says that you should not wear the shoes of a deceased person. Not to wear the shoes of a deceased person. I don't know if you ever heard of that before, but it's mostly starts in the Sefer Hasidim who teaches us this. So instantly the question becomes, so if God forbid someone does pass away and owns 18 pairs of shoes, must they all be thrown in the trash? Because we don't wear the shoes of a dead person. So there are differing opinions on it. Some say that it means just the shoes that the person was wearing at the time of death. And if and those shoes are not to be worn by anybody else, but any other shoes that that person happens to own, you'd be perfectly fine wearing them if you wanted to. I would understand if you wouldn't want to. Ramosha says that this whole thing, although it does exist, it only means the shoes of the person whose cause of death is unknown. Because the cause of death of that person is unknown, we could have suspicions that it would be bad for you to wear shoes of that person wore because it could be contagious or we don't know what made him die. So the halacha only is for, according to Ramosha, for people whose death was ununderstandable to us, and then we say, you know what, don't wear his shoes. According to that, if that's the thinking, then if we knew that it wasn't a contagious disease and we could understand the cause of his death, then we may be able to wear the shoes of that deceased person. Slippers of a deceased person, it seems like all rabbis consider that okay. And before I end here today, I imagine some of you listening to this last point feel like, we're not doing it. What are you talking about? Nobody's putting on the shoes of a deceased person. We will put them all just to maybe to charity or whatever, or maybe even just disposed of. So that's okay. But you know, in poorer times when people found that they really needed every pair of shoes and they weren't so quick to toss things, so they had exactly this question, which was, what do I do with the shoes of the deceased person? So that exists in halacha. Hopefully, it won't apply to any of us. May God watch over us, but I'm just teaching, and this is one of the things out there in halacha. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow. I think we have one more day of some interesting shoe halachas, and then on to some other interesting unit for us. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.